Have you ever felt like you're in this frantic race to build the perfect career, but in the process, you're leaving something really important behind? Well, today we're going to dive right into that tension. We're talking about the modern clash between our professional ambition and our basic human need for love and connection, all through the lens of Sandeep Maheshwari's incredible insights. All right, let's start with a question that, might hit a little close to home. Just take a second and think about your day to day life. Does it ever feel like you're just stuck on a loop, like you're just pressing rewind and play on the exact same day, over and over and over again? I mean, listen to this. This came from someone in the audience at one of Maheshwari's sessions. And wow, does it just perfectly capture that feeling, right? The wake up, the commute, the office, the trip home. It's a cycle so predictable, it feels like there's no room for anything new to ever break through. So that brings us right to our first section, life on a loop. Because this feeling of being stuck, it's not just about having a boring routine. Understanding why we stay on that loop, well, that's the first real step to finally getting off of it.
Now, here's what's so interesting. The problem isn't actually the routine itself. The real barrier, the thing that's holding us back, is the fear of the unknown. Think about it. Even a routine that makes us unhappy feels safe because it's predictable. The idea of doing something different, even something as small as starting a conversation with a new person, that comes with a risk, right? A risk of rejection. And that fear is what keeps us trapped right where we are.
So, what is it that's fueling all this fear and keeping us running on that hamster wheel? Well, that leads us straight into section 2, the career and money illusion. This is the modern rat race that's really become the main culprit here. Just look at this timeline. Look at how much our priorities have shifted. We're so intensely focused on our careers that we're pushing these huge life milestones, like finding a partner, getting married, further and further down the road. What used to be normal in our early 20s is now being put off until our 30s, maybe even our 40s. We are literally putting life on hold for a job title. And this right here, this is the engine that keeps the rat race going, the salary trap. We all tell ourselves that story, don't we? Oh, if I just make 50,000 rupees, everything will be amazing. But then you get there and you realize your core problems are exactly the same. So you aim for 1 lakh, thinking that will be the magic number. But the reality is it's just an endless chase where the finish line keeps moving further and further away. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's such a stark, powerful reminder of how pointless this whole chase can be. If you spend your entire life trying to win a race that eats up everything else that matters, what have you actually won at the end of the day? So here's the real kicker. By the time we finally feel settled in our careers, enough to even think about a relationship, 2 things have usually happened. First, we've kind of missed the boat on that age where it's easier and more natural to form these deep bonds. And second, we've become so focused on ourselves and our own path that we're kind of closed off. It just leads to serious commitment issues and, honestly, a really deep, profound loneliness. So while we're out there chasing that next promotion, that next salary bump, we are completely ignoring a huge part of what makes us human. And that brings us to section 3, our deep, biological, our absolute need for connection. Okay, this is so crucial to get. Emotional security isn't some luxury item. It's not just something you want. It is a core biological need. Go way back to our ancestors. In the wild, being alone was basically a death sentence. Sticking together, having each other's backs, that was literally how you survived. That need for a support system, for a tribe, it's hardwired directly into our DNA. And what does that security look like for us today? Well, it's really built on these pillars. It's having a support system you can count on, no matter what. It's that deep feeling of safety that only comes from true togetherness. And it's finding that one person, that partner for life, who will be there long after our parents are gone. These are not just nice-to-haves. They're absolutely essential for our well-being. But what happens when we ignore this fundamental need? Well, the consequences are severe. In section 4, let's look at the body's warning signs, because this isn't just a social problem, it's a full-blown health crisis. This is a point we absolutely cannot just gloss over. When we experience things like depression and anxiety, it is not just all in your head. These conditions have a very, very real physical basis. They are often a direct result of a lifestyle that is starving our bodies of their most basic fundamental needs. Our bodies are made up of these 5 core elements. But just look at this breakdown. In our modern, career-obsessed lives, what do we get? Instead of fresh food from the earth, we get processed meals. Instead of pure water, we get chemically treated tap water. We trade sunlight for artificial office lighting, fresh air for city pollution, and wide open spaces for cramped rooms and tiny screens. We are systematically depriving ourselves of the very things we are made of. Is it really any surprise that our mental and physical health is taking a nosedive?
Okay, so it sounds a little bleak, I know. But what's the way out? That brings us to our final section, choosing a richer life. And the answer isn't to just quit your job. It's about making a fundamental shift in what we actually value and prioritize.
It really boils down to this choice, a choice we all have to make. Are you chasing temporary pleasure, or are you building lasting happiness? The rat race, it offers you these quick, fleeting highs, the excitement of a promotion, the thrill of a new gadget. But a real, committed partnership, that offers something so much deeper, a sense of belonging, the comfort of shared trust, and a strong friendship right at the very core of it all. And that right there, that's the ultimate payoff. When you find a relationship that gives you something truly priceless, that deep connection, that unwavering support, suddenly you're willing to sacrifice all those other fleeting pleasures for it. You protect it because you finally understand its incredible, irreplaceable value. So we end up right back where we started, with this idea of taking a risk. If the fear of the unknown is what keeps us stuck on that loop, then the only way to get off is to take one small, brave step. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What small risk will you take for connection today?